We continue to monitor a 50% chance of development here in the southern Gulf of Mexico. This, the first day of hurricane season. Probably not what you wanted to hear waking up on this Saturday morning, but nonetheless, here's the very latest advisory from the National Hurricane Center as of 7 o'clock. Winds 25 miles an hour, moving to the west-northwest at 14. That pressure holding steady at 1,008 millibars. Now, I want to emphasize that this is classified as an Invest 91L, meaning that the Hurricane Center is just investigating this. They're just curious about it, not an organized storm at this time. Now, as we move into the beginning of hurricane season, June and July, storms tend to develop pretty quickly. They tend to develop close to home. And the track of these storms tend to be very erratic and slow. And you can see the development here, basically the Gulf of Mexico and the far western Caribbean Sea. As we move into the latter part of the season, they become what we call Cape Verde storms out in the main development region of the Atlantic. We call them Cape Verde due to these islands right here off the west coast of Africa. And these are these long track storms. They tend to be very intense. In fact, Hurricane Ike and the 1900 storm are both good examples of hurricanes that have hit this area that were off the west coast of Africa. Again, they're long-lived. And we get lots of advanced warning when they develop way out in the open ocean. Now, as we head into June and July, what they look like typically, more of a shrimp-shaped type storm. These are what we call your extratropical storms as they move into the Gulf of Mexico. Allison was a good example of this. These are water-loaded storms, and again, they tend to be homegrown, and they tend to develop pretty quickly. Now, as we get into the latter part of the season, August through October, that's when you get the more typical hurricane look, that buzzsaw look. They tend to be long-lived and can be absolutely devastating. Thankfully, none of that in the cards for anybody over the next couple of weeks. Take a look here at the current temperatures. 74 degrees at Bush Airport, 78 at Hobby, 83 degrees already down there on Galveston Island, with the winds coming in from the north, bringing in a little bit of a drier air mass. But the winds are generally calm across the region where they are blowing 3, maybe up to about 6 miles an hour there at Bush Airport. So the radar, not a whole lot going on here locally as we expand the view nationwide. Maybe a storm there, severe thunderstorm warning there in northern Oklahoma, but that's about it. Pretty quiet across the country. High pressure and firm control of our weather, but this is the high pressure that is also going to steer whatever becomes of Invest 91L in our general direction, at least after whatever it becomes of it makes landfall. So here we go. There's the high pressure system moving on off to the east, expanding across the Gulf. That acts as a barrier, so the storm can't really go anywhere except to the west. So once it crosses into Mexico, whatever is left of this, that moisture is going to be transported northward right into our area. And this is where our flood threat begins to take shape heading into Wednesday and into Thursday. You can see those oranges now really showing deep tropical moisture moving into our region. So this is where very heavy rain will be in the forecast for both Wednesday and Thursday, but drying out very rapidly. Friday into next weekend looking pretty nice. We just have to get through those couple of days. So here's the look at the future track. Maybe a storm heading into the afternoon hours, but all in all, a quiet, hot weekend expected here locally and heading into the beginning of next week. In fact, Monday could be some of the hottest temperatures so far this season. 7-day outlook, 93 today, 94 heading into your Sunday, 94 on Monday as well. And then there you go, 60 to 70% chances of rain Wednesday into Thursday. But again, as promised, drying out just as quickly on Friday, Ron.